A very warm welcome, everybody, to Blackpool for another Pro Series weekend. 4 days of action all get underway here and now. Eddie Batman Barker is about to get us underway in our first match from the last 96 here in the professional series. He'll be taking on Andrew Patchett for a place in the last 64, which we played a little bit later on this afternoon. We've got a good day of action for you today, actually, as well. Plenty of matches throughout the day. We'll see many of the big hitters as we go through. All the top stars get underway in the last 64, which is coming up in a couple of matches' time. We've got two from the last 96 first, and then we're on to the last 64s, and we'll finish off tonight with the last 32. So we'll know our last 16 for the first Pro Series event of the weekend by the end of the day. Simon Webb and Tony Holgate with you. Tony, it's great to be here once again. Great to be in your company, and looking forward to another big weekend.
Afternoon, Simon. Yes, great match to start us off. Eddie Barker, Batman, of course. And he's playing Andrew Patchett. In the very start of what promises to be an incredible weekend of pool. And it's Batman who breaks us off and makes a ball.
Yeah, it comes across the break as well. Look at the spot spinning there, but he won't mind if he gets this outcome every time. It's a pretty good chance.
Well, he obviously has enough room at the bottom of the table to get to that red that's tucked just below those two yellows, so this really should be a first frame on the board for Eddie Barker.
Wait, you're not giving him any opportunity to ease in straight away. Just got to get this frame on the board. In all honesty, though, it is a really good layout, isn't it, for your first chance of a tournament?
Yeah, you like them all day long. There's Andrew Patchett.
Oh, he's just pulled up in time. For a second, I thought he turned it a little bit far.
Yeah, as you see how quick the table is out there in the match arena. Barely brushed that cue ball along the cloth. I was speaking to Eddie earlier, and he seems to be in fine fettle, quite jolly.
Yeah, I saw him. I spoke to him 2 minutes before we went live, actually, and he was very relaxed to the point where I was like, Eddie, are you actually playing in a minute or not? He didn't look like he was ready to go. It looked like he was just in a very casual mood, which is, I think, a really good thing, actually, off the table. Downplay it a little bit, but obviously very serious out there as well.
Nicely manoeuvred.
I never really would have wanted this to be my last ball for the 8 ball, but the way they were laid out, I think it had to be, really.
Yeah, you didn't want to be coming off this ball now, having to go back into the middle of the table for one of the other two reds. So it's just a case of judging the pace of the cue ball now, and I think you'll be trying to get onto the black into the right-hand centre. Just pull this across.
I just think it's one of those shots that you could easily leave yourself a bit of an awkward 8 ball. There you go, he's got that all wrong.
That's a bizarre shot to play there. He was always going to cannon into those two yellows.
I don't think the shot, you're right, I don't think the shot he was playing is on here at all. He's playing this with the left-hand side, trying to miss the yellow. But he hit it. I mean, he hits it, well, more than full. He hits it on the inside of full. It's a poor decision more than anything else.
You have to leave yourself a shot in the black, whatever you do.
It was just as you say, it was just to control it and just give yourself a shot. The reason I didn't like it as a last ball was I just felt you would leave yourself you weren't going to be straight in on it into the centre like you'd want to be, but it had to be the last ball the way it was laid out, or it sort of felt like it was going to be.
If you screw back, you can't fail to leave yourself either a thin cut on the black in the middle, dead straight on it, or a thin black coming the other way. Even if, my goodness, what's wrong with these people today?
Okay. What a start. I'm trying to work out which one's the bigger error here. It's going to be, the bigger error is going to be Andrew's because it's the second error, but that's quite incredible.
It's like we've quantum leaped back to the 60s when they were playing. Well, I don't think I've seen two worse shots in all season.
Well, they may be the two worst shots we see all day long. That's going to be a tough one for Andrew. And this is how the psychology of the game's bizarre, because if Eddie breaks and clears there, Andrew just sits there and goes, that's the nature of the game, and he'll be fine at the next. Now he's sitting there raging about the fact he's missed a ball. And
very nice break there from Patchett.
I wonder A really good opportunity as well for Andrew. The two reds bottom left aren't a plant, so he'd probably lend himself to yellows, and then is the 8 ball blocked off. Decisions to make, but it's a good layout. You'd take this every time.
Yes, that's right, Simon, and a great opportunity to erase that error from the last frame.
I think a red higher up the table as well, slightly awkward, so I think yellows is for me. Nod of the head from my co-commentator. Tony, you must agree.
I do agree. Yeah, those two reds are not a plant down there. I mean, they could be made, but I think yellows were definitely the ball to take. You've not really got to nudge anything out. Like you say, Simon, that red at the top of the table is awkward. The black certainly goes in the centre, but he's still landed a bit funny, isn't he?
Yeah, that wasn't the best of first shots again. Got an unnecessary cannon and actually made the table worse for himself again.
Played that nicely.
He's sort of tracking to leaving awkward balls to the end, isn't he? I mean, he's not on anything but the one over top left-hand corner, which means the 4 yellows left are awkward. If that sits over the middle, it helps, but it doesn't. It just goes a little bit too far down the table.
I don't like him.
No, I really don't.
Tricky shot. Played that very well. But where's he going to land? And that is not great. Once again, I think he's going to have to play the one at the top now. Do you think come down the table for the one in the centre, or do you leave that last? It's a bit of a...
I think I like the yellow bottom left last, as in don't play for it in the centre, because I don't see how you're going to get low on it. But I just think get onto this one, get onto the one he's nearest to and slide across the table and then take it long.
Well, I think he's been listening to you, Simon.
He's got 2 straight on it though. It's one of those, he's played that so well that he's better on this yellow than he ever wanted to be. Now connecting it to the next yellow, he's not guaranteed to be good.
Just punch it out off this rail.
Oh, he's played that very well.
Yeah, great shot.
Yeah. I thought he was going to leave it like quarter ball from quite wide and just let the cue ball naturally slide across to where he is now, but he played the last couple of shots well, really.
Just coming around to double check how far he's got to come down the table to have the black available into that centre so he doesn't snooker himself.
Oh, this will make him feel an awful lot better after the mistake of the first frame, because as you said, 4 balls to go, he wasn't in good shape here, so it's not just making a clearance, it's actually, you know, making a good recovery clearance. Good lineup there for the last 64.
Absolutely fantastic to watch all these matches. Just a quick word on Declan Brennan. I did watch him in that Champions League. I mean, he took out some big names there, didn't he? Wow.
Yeah. It was a dramatic night,
but
it really
I mean,
was.
In the 6 reds, and my word, how well did he play? And to hold his nerve like he did, I mean, it's fulfilling for me the promise that, you know, I rate Declan right up there with the best of them.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great player.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think we've been waiting for him to get his hands on his second Ultimate Pool title. Obviously, WPF World Masters was on Ultimate Pool TV as well, but his level of game is as good as anyone you'll see.
I think he's been very unlucky in some of the matches I remember commentating earlier this year in these pro series events. I remember one game in particular with playing Ian Allen. Declan Brennan was 3 while playing brilliant. Ian Allen then potted 2 balls out of snookers, cleared up and did it again this next frame, a black out of a snooker, and the camera went to Declan's face and his head dropped completely, and it was 3-all, and he just, you know, and I looked at Declan and he just looked like a man that felt the world was against him, but such a great player. I was very pleased for him, to be fair.
It'll be interesting to see if that victory in the Champions League will really help him. Oh, cue ball here, he's okay. Well, ish. He's not nicely on the next ball, but at least he's not gone in off here for Andrew. We'll come back to Declan later on. He's playing, as we say, he's playing 3rd match today, roughly scheduled for around 4:30, 4:45 maybe, give or take, depending on how these earlier matches go. And we'll round off the day with a couple of matches from the last 32 as well, so plenty to come over the course of the next 10 hours or so. No surprise to see Andrew pulled back after not landing nicely on the next ball. Tactical exchange for the first time.
Eddie Batman Barker, with his collar very Eric Cantona-esque from back in the 90s. Of course, the famous French footballer who played for Manchester United and Leeds, and
Have we
very colourful character he was.
Have we reached that age, Tony, where we need to explain to some of our audience
I think
who Eric Cantona is? That
I think
that makes
we
me
have.
feel very old.
I have. I'm afraid to admit it, but yes. People saying, "Who was Eric Cantona?"
I'll be honest with you, I didn't think we'd be talking about Eric Cantona on the stream today, but you know, happy to get into it.
It's down along one of my tangents and scenic routes along the way of sport.
But you are right. I mean, Eddie's a similar, well, probably the generation between us two, actually, isn't he, in terms of his age? And he's very much in that kind of, the collar up was very popular in that era.
Well, I think he's 50 this year, actually, Eddie.
I think he is. I think he played in the seniors last year, so he turned 50 at the back end of last year.
That's right. Yes, I think he got to the final one of the mini-series events.
He did,
if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
That was the one where Oli Bell said he was unstoppable. I'm guaranteed to win it, and then he went 4-0 up against Eddie, and Eddie came back beating 5-4, I think.
No, I think it was the other way round, wasn't it? He was 4-1 up against Eddie. Was 4-1 up against him, and then I think that was the semi-final. I think
right.
it was the match on the stream, and then Oli lost in the final himself. But very important tactical exchange here. And that's not necessarily helped, but one more cannon and he can solve this little conundrum. Getting harder. You can assume he wanted the fuller contact on that so that he could have the ball he moved to bottom right.
I think he's having a look at this plant. Cuba will sort of try double kiss off this red on the bottom rail.
It's thin though, isn't it?
It is tricky, very
thin.
tricky.
I mean, if you're it's so thin, you've got to hit it harder than that, haven't you? It's not even got halfway.
No.
Andrew's coming to the table. Does he have a way to play maybe red off the jaw, off the yellow? Or can he get into the area? Certainly be happy to get back to the table. Looks like he's in control of the frame.
Well, he obviously thinks this red can go down onto this bottom left-hand corner, past the black and into the yellow, going off of the yellow, freeing his pocket up, and also that will open up the path for the red at the bottom of the table. He could have a finish on here.
Just got the double kiss.
And he still left a path for the plant yellow. So I think you'll see Eddie have another attempt at this, and I presume he's going to hit it a bit harder this time.
He's had a little warm-up for it. It's the same shot again, Eddie.
This time, though, the cue ball is going to cannon into this red ball on the bottom rail. Will he just skim past it? Oh.
Ooh, this might be okay. It's hard to tell.
Can he play it off the red?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He looks confident. No. See the grimace. I don't think this is on. It's too thin. He's hitting the red too thick. I don't think he can play the shot we're talking about. Oh, he could. Excellent shot.
Well,
as you could see there, he actually would have been able to just turn that one in, but you can't turn it in and get on the yellow over the right centre.
I was with you, Simon. I thought he might hit it a bit thick there and just hit the draw and come back out, but he's played it very, very well indeed.
That really was an excellent shot.
Be very careful with this cue ball here. Well, that little flick was quite helpful for Eddie Barker there. I think that might have flown up the table a bit further there and he could have been in trouble. But that has certainly helped. Simple 8-ball for Barker to restore his lead.
Two-one it is. 8-ball going for a ride. No golden breaks in play, so no drama there. Just a nice cut break from Andrew, and another good opportunity off his own break. Interesting decisions here. Red above the 8-ball is awkward on if to go reds. I think the rest of the reds are okay. Yellows may well be the better option. Andrew certainly thinks so. I think the yellows in the triangle area are a little bit awkward though.
Yeah, it's a very finicky looking finish for me. You'd like to push that yellow towards the corner bag and not towards the top rail, as Eddie Barker looks on. Wants to get rid of these two yellows at the top of the table first. Played that nicely. Nice control by Patchett. Got a nice angle now to come down the table. Almost a bit too much angle, to be fair. But I have to agree with you once again. Those two yellows that are above the, obviously the one that's the yellow that's nearest the bag is easy, but it's the two that are just above it, I think, are tricky.
Almost helps him if he had played onto it as a plant. Actually, if you get right behind it, the plant, and then it gets you onto the one into the centre pocket, and then you should get out from there. He's on the bottom one, but he has to play a good positional shot here.
Is he going to screw into the red in between them? Ooh.
Tried to check it up and it just slid on him.
He's trying to be on a sixpence there and it's failed. I think he's been fortunate. If he's got a little gap, he can see him pop this into the top right, then he's been a little lucky.
Sort of shot that if you are playing in your local club, it's easier to pull off than on this table where it just slides on you and that check side doesn't take.
Nicely dispatched. And now he's going to just drop this yellow ball that's next to the black. Cue ball just off the bottom rail and the yellow into the bottom left hand corner. And this will be 2-2. Well, he was a little bit worried there with that cue ball. Would you believe it? Well, I don't think Eddie Barker was anticipating having another bite at this cherry.
That was quite staggering, wasn't it? I'm not really sure. I mean, there was no reason for that at all.
No, he had all the yellow to hit.
I mean, it was. Sometimes you see missed pots, and you know that's the nature of the game. But that was an unmissable ball. But sometimes when you have that sort of thing, it gets missed because you're trying to hold the cue ball, or because of the positional side of it, and maybe you're picking the pocket. But that was just a strange miss.
Well, this red has to go in behind this yellow. Oh, he's played it very well. He's been a little bit unlucky there. He also tried to move that red off the rail that's near the black. He achieved the main part of that, which was obviously knocking in Andrew Patchett's yellow and having the red follow in behind so he could stay at the table. If the red hadn't gone in behind it, of course, it would have been a loss of turn and Patchett would have just strolled to the table and knocked the black in. But yeah, a little bit unlucky there from Barker not to nudge that red out. But he still has a slight angle here. I think he's going to have another attempt.
Beautiful.
Great shot from Barker. So at the second time of asking, he's nudged that red out, and I'll tell you what, Andrew Patchett is going to be absolutely kicking himself.
He's made two major errors, isn't he, in the match already? It's so hard to kind of respond to that, really. I mean, he's the one that should be 3-1 up.
Yeah, absolutely, Simon. And now the simplest of black balls for Barker to get himself into a nice two-frame cushion. down it goes. You know, I always, when you look at your opponent, you see him, especially if they start to get frustrated. You know, it makes you feel great inside.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I remember playing Jordan Shepherd once, and had a few people watching, and he was getting frustrated because he wasn't playing very well, and I was snatching a few frames, and his sort of toys were coming out the pram, and I remember somebody came up to me afterwards and said, did that not put you off or worry? I said, oh, it was great.
Absolutely.
keep going, please.
Yeah.
I mean, he was gone, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
Keep going. I think Eddie thought he was getting the cannon on the red there, the way he played that.
First time we've heard the beeper in this match.
Yeah, very leisurely 30 seconds, isn't it, at this point?
Still, there's usually somebody's sort of activated it by now, and you know, we're in frame 5.
Chasing this bad ball at the top. Doesn't really have any more ammunition to knock it out, and I think he'll take that, in all honesty. Yes, he'd like to have landed on the red, but he's on the double.
Yeah, he needs to get this double into the centre pocket, but he also needs to land on that red at the top and leave himself an angle to come all the way down the table.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit too much angle, isn't he, to hold?
He's asking a lot.
Yeah. If he was straighter on the double, it'd be one thing.
He's not got it.
Right then, Andrew, this is the moment. What's gone has gone. Half an hour to try and find the game.
It's a bit, I don't know. He's not looking in great shape, Andrew Patchett, at the moment. It's sort of slung his arm at that one, almost as if he was expecting to miss it.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he's looking very frustrated and almost as though that what's happened already is really affecting him. And I feel like the error in the opening frame is playing out here. He's getting frustrated and, in all honesty, making the game fairly easy, Freddie Barker. Although he's not played a good one there.
2 frames at this level's nothing. You know, you can win them back in a matter of like 2 minutes.
But you sit in your chair and you think about the mistakes you've made more than anything else. You think, I should be 3-1 up, not 3-1 down, and will that come back to bite me? You know, and things like that. And all of a sudden, if it was just 3-1 and Eddie had 3 chances and Andrew had 1, you're feeling a lot more positive about it. But it's that mental side of the game again, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you let it get too far, you end up with your body's in the arena and your head's on the motorway going down the road.
Well, yeah, that's very true.
Just needs to give himself a little talking to inside and just, get himself back into this match. Again, it's a bit loose, isn't it? I think he's left him half a chance here.
Feel like he can get into the red? No, he's just decided to hold.
That's it. It's a half chance. Well, it's better than a half chance now.
Oh, he would have taken it when he came to when he didn't get out on the last visit.
That's why I said the shot was loose before to leave him that.
Yeah, it was.
Well, always going to miss that one when he caught it very thin there, Barker.
Just get the sense he might get back to the table, though. I know that the yellow's not too bad to deal with. Well, it looks like he's just going to go loss of turn. Not even going to attempt to do anything more. So he's definitely getting back to the table. But it's a fairly good chance here for Eddie still.
Well, you know Eddie's going to hit this ball, so
Yeah, you should send it pretty close to the centre pocket here. Or the corner. Or the corner.
Oh my God.
Not the one he was playing for, but he will take it.
And once again, and it's just not going Andrew Patchett's way at all.
Red ball's in place.
You feel he has to come up with something at this visit. He's got to change the narrative of this match. He's got to find some positivity and try and force himself back into this game. I thought that was going to happen on frame 2 actually, when he made a really good break clearance where it wasn't easy, and thought that was going to reset and the mistake of the opening frame was going to be gone, but it wasn't. He's got a chance here. Ooh, that was a poor one, but I say he's got away with it, but he hasn't, because how do you connect these two together?
Well, he's got to pot the red into this corner, drag the cue ball back off the side rail behind the black ball and try and cannon into that yellow. But it's a tricky one. You've got to sort of pinch it very deep in the cue ball.
Extension call.
Well, he opted against it. He went for the thin cut into the corner, and he's missed that by a country mile.
Yeah, this is not the match Andrew was hoping for when he came into the venue this morning. He's going to really struggle. Because the thing is, we're looking at it, it's not as though Eddie's played well here.
Extension call.
Eddie's not exactly, played his best game. He's just been more solid, isn't he?
Indeed. She's been mopping up Patchett's errors. Still tricky here for Barker. Those two yellows on the left-hand rail, they're going to cause Eddie a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I know we were critical of Andrew for not going in the previous frame, or for playing, if you are going to play safe, play good safety. Question whether Eddie needed to go here. 4-1 up, could have played safe.
I think he'll be playing safe now. Just going to drop the cue ball into the yellow, just off cue ball off the rail and tuck in behind it.
My thinking here is, gets a good snooker, what's he going to do when he gets cue ball in hand? If he gets cue ball in hand.
Again, you feel that Patchett should hit this red at the top of the table. What Patchett doesn't want to do is pop that red at the top of the table and get a cue ball round behind the yellow and the black there, and that would be a disaster. Well, he's coming across. No. I didn't like that. I like to, if I'm on reds, I like to leave that cluster there because it's a bit of security for me with Eddie.
Play for the big open red, yeah. Because even, as I said, even if you give away cube one hand, what's Eddie going to do there? He's got to come up with a shot, and there wasn't really much on. So by going that way, you're opening up balls.
Yep.
It's still not easy here for Eddie, though. It's worth pointing out, but
but he's got options.
I like what he's doing here. Pop this over the middle and get another snooker.
Yeah, this is good. This is good thinking by Eddie Barker. Yeah, nicely done, and he's also stopped going straight across as well.
And that's why he took his time on the previous safety, because he was trying to figure out could he do something like that on the previous shot. In the end, he decided he couldn't, so he kept it very tight.
Well, he got it on the way back there, Patchett the red, but that's a shot he should have played the time before.
But if this yellow goes, it's still a chance for Eddie.
What about playing to the yellow that's just below the red and stick the cue ball next to the red ball? Yellow, the other yellow over the middle then, and Patchett's got no shot. Was he going for the double? Can't be.
Oh, that's bold. That is bold.
Oh, he's gone for the cutter. That's, well, not for me, that shot.
Well, it was tight. That was the first thing. It must have gone, otherwise, yeah. Look how tight it is there.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I mean,
I didn't mind, like I say, play that yellow.
I like your shot though. I do like your shot because you don't see it enough. You don't see it where you use your opponent's ball to
block
it. You know, get him as long as you're not touching. You're putting him in a world of trouble.
Because he has to play a shot. He has to come out of there.
Yeah.
And where he comes out, you're always going to force to leave you on the yellow.
Andrew played to move the 8-ball out here, and obviously second prize is the double. Hasn't landed on it as nicely as he would have if he had just played for the double. Big shot coming up.
Well, much needed black ball down for Andrew Patchett. Well, if you're Eddie Barker, you want to put this frame to bed as quick as possible and slam that door shut on Andrew Patchett, because if he does get this frame, Andrew, and he does, like you say, gets a bit hot, spring in his step, and all of a sudden it'll be a different players at the table.
Yeah, we've all been in those matches where you've played poorly and you kind of get in your own head and you're like, oh no, it's not turned up here. And then you look at the scoreboard and you're 4-3 with what, 15 minutes to go. You're like, well, hang on a minute, I'm okay here.
Uh-oh.
Red ball's in play.
Well, he's going to have to play this red into the bottom right-hand corner. He's not going to be able to hold on the ball at the bottom, otherwise he'll get on it, so he's going to have to go all the way back at the top. But it does open up that pocket, the bottom left, for the red that will be next to the black. So we're going to see Barker going up and down and round the houses.
Good though, isn't it? Clear that one, opens up the other one, as you say, and you know you kind of want to normally think of it and think I'll deal with those two together, but you can't. So he's done well. First two shots have been good. Still needs one more really good shot coming down the right hand side.
Well, this is the important shot now. Slides this along that top rail, but he has to leave himself an angle to get that cue ball out of the way of those yellows and all the way down to the right hand side of the table at the bottom.
It's okay, but not brilliant. I didn't really like this as the ball to come down the right hand side with, to be honest with you. Once he's dealt with the bottom end, I didn't see this as the ball.
No, because it's going to slide off this top rail, this cue ball is, so it's going to go wide towards the middle baggish. Don't know if you can check it, but it's
played that really well.
That's as well as you could get.
Yeah.
But I don't like being crushed up there either. Should be allowed once at every frame. You can pick the white up yourself and put yourself in a position where it's easy.
Oh, make the game easy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, he's managed the table very well in this finish, is Eddie Barker, I have to say.
I think that cue ball just took a half turn off the triangle area. You get those with the cloth, you just get that little indentation sometimes in the triangle area. It just half turned to the right to make this a marginally easier 8-ball.
Yeah. Also, some of the you can see the cloth, you know, because it's brand spanking new. The finger marks,
Yeah.
you know, the cue ball will turn through them.
Yeah, you just saw that little bit there.
You know, if he'd been playing anybody else, you know, he'd have had a real. I think he could have gone very deep into the last event. Very textbook stance and cue action, isn't he, Lewis Roberts?
Yeah, take the positives out of it though, don't you? And move on to the next tournament.
Well, he's obviously brought some form with him to do that to the big dog.
Extension call. balls in play.
Dry break from Andrew. Chance for Eddie to get to the hill here.
Well, it's all about that red up next to the black ball at the top. Does it go through that little gap?
I'm pretty sure it does.
It does look like it.
Yeah.
And the black's obviously available as well into this, well, either corner pocket, but if he does get that far through this finish, red and black will go in the same bag, I'm pretty sure. Has he just come a little too far? I'm not sure. Can he just roll through and still leave? He's going to have a funny angle on this sector.
He's going to be off angle, isn't he? He's going to be the wrong way round. Yeah, that's why
he's just realised it.
Yep. I think he had to make sure he landed straight just to be able to pull it back in your left-hand side of the yellow.
Does that look straight?
He's just off straight. Now, if that might actually be okay. He might be able to top through with a little bit of running and get to the angle where he needs to. Oh, it's just accepted it and gone long, but he's left this awkward as well.
Yeah, they like to come just off that rail a bit further.
I don't mind the choice, in all honesty, is if you get yourself a touch straighter on it.
Part of the red. All about the cue ball now. We know the red goes into the corner. He's got to guide it past those two yellows, especially that one that's on the bottom rail. He does not want any contact with that at all off the two cushions.
I think it's an okay, comfortable shot here, just to punch it in. Yeah, he's played it with side rather than punching it in, but
yeah, it's still nice.
It was nice. I think the natural was avoiding the yellow, which was ideal. Another very good visit. To be fair, since making the mistake not going 5-1, it's going to be back-to-back very good visits to the table for Eddie Barker.
Yeah, very good finish. Brilliant. Yes, he's certainly shifted up a gear now, Barker. A little bit like Jeff Cates back in the day when he was a shot putter holding the record for the 100 metres.
Should we talk about St Paul?
Go on then. Eddie Barker's on the hill.
Eddie Barker is on the hill. He has a chance here to round off this opening match. Didn't really explode on him, that break. That wasn't the best of contacts. Kind of bounced off the front ball.
Attention call. Red balls in play.
I can tell you while Eddie goes through this, Ian Alley has won the race. The first man to win a match at this weekend's Pro Series. He's just completed victory over Josh Duaz 7 frames to 2.
We wanted some contact into that yellow to Barker. If he had a nudge into the yellow, I think the end would have been nigh for Andrew Patchett, but he's still got some work to do now, Eddie.
And that's no good. Oh, it just got there.
I thought it was just dying on its legs there, but yeah.
I didn't think that had a chance. It's just got through the gap, the tiniest little gap. It's not easy, it's worth pointing out, but at least he has a shot.
Well, if he gets this finish, that'll top them all for this match for Barker. Is he looking at the double? No. Not this time, Eddie. Now then, Andrew Patchett up against it somewhat. We'll have another look. Barker's missed double. No, he won't, because we're going straight back with Andrew Patchett now attempting to clear these yellows.
Yeah, and he'll, not a surprise to see him just walk to the table and go straight at it, because he doesn't want to ruin the clock. He wants to, if he's going to get back into this, it needs to be a quick turnaround. There's still 12 minutes to go, but he needs to find some rhythm and do it quickly.
Might help him if he plays quicker, because you've got no time for the negative thoughts. Just point and click.
Does he check that up too much?
No, he's got. I think get through there. He's having a little. Nah, he can get through. Stop the white dead, black in the middle. That's one back. If you're Eddie Barker, you think you're going to get another chance, though. You've certainly got breaks to come, so there will be opportunities for Barker to get over the line, but Patchett keeping himself hanging on to Barker's coattails.
Andrew sticking with a cut break. He's had the 8-ball flying, hasn't he, every break? I know there's no golden breaks in play, but keep that one in mind for a Monday night show. This is the best layout of the lot for him. This is really good for a quick clearance.
Red ball's in play.
Yeah, all of a sudden, if Patchett gets these, Barker's next break becomes very important.
Yeah, having said he's going to be sat there comfortably knowing he's going to get more chances. If it's 2 quick frames from Andrew, that kind of changes the mindset a little bit.
Well, it's quite incredible, because Patchett's never looked at the races in this entire match, and all of a sudden gets this dish. Barker goes dry and dishes again.
Yeah.
How quick can this game turn? Well thought out.
Yeah, it took his time just to consider the order there.
Well, would the real Andrew Patchett please stand up?
Very good. Excellent. That's a bit. He broke from a little bit wider there, I think, than previously. Still going front ball, but from wide.
Well, they're there. We said Barker would get another opportunity to win the match, and it's here, right now.
He's looking at the reds. It depends on the cluster in the middle. I just immediately was drawn to the yellows. I just felt they were a bit more open, but I don't see where he goes off this first red to bottom left.
Well, I think the red at the top goes through between those two yellows into the right-hand centre. I wonder if he's going to try and get on that first. He has to, but he's got a bit too far. The red might go into this bottom right-hand corner, the one that's bang on just below the blue spot, if you like. He's going into the middle. That's not pleasant.
Yeah, I mean, obviously if he lands, I didn't know he could avoid the yellow on the left-hand side there, but if he lands straight in, then he could have picked those apart and made the reds look really simple. And so I can see why he's gone reds now that he's played that first shot, but I don't know, just never really looked like a good layout to me, even though it I felt the yellows were, but anyway.
Well, this game just never fails to amaze me how matches can turn. I mean, if Patchett was to win his frame, he's getting a 6-5 hiding for me.
Yeah. 6-5 hiding. Very important frame now, though, obviously, for Andrew. He's got to win this one. But now that he's got an opportunity at the table, I feel like he should.
Well, he's got a little bit more of a spring in his step now, Patchett. He realises he's firmly back in his match.
I don't think he should keep potting though.
No.
It's time to play safe. You don't have, nothing says you have to win this frame in one visit. It's hard to do so.
Well, he seems keen to go. So obviously he's going to have to move black and yellow at the bottom at some point. See, if he was to go into it now, or even the shot after, he's got to go into it and get on it, nearly.
Yeah, he's waiting too long. Yeah, second time he's missed it, but if you play safe first shot and open it up, then you're in prime position to win the very next visit, whatever Eddie does. I wonder, do you think the fact that Eddie potted from a snooker earlier in the visit kind of is in his mind?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. A little bit unlucky there, Patchett with the cue ball going behind the black and yellow. Well, this is it. No. That is a great shot.
Yeah, very, very good. But that's the shot I think he should have played first visit to the first shot of the whole visit. Just pop that one out and get behind them. The ball's at the bottom whilst this other yellow's in the way. But he's going to get an opportunity to win the frame all the same.
Yep.
That was a good shot from Andrew, and he's going to get rewarded for it. He can just nip this past the red.
Well, this for 6-5 to get within one of Barker.
Oh, Eddie was 2 steps out the chair there.
He was.
5:37 left.
As she said, Simon, he's been breaking well, and that one's not let him down either.
Yeah, fiddly little layout, but a chance.
When you're Andrew Patchett, all you want is a chance. So he'll take anything, any scraps that are left on the table. He's got plenty of time, it's over 5 minutes. So he's not having to gallop, he's just got to make sure this framing, it'll tie up the match.
Got to get across to the right hand side, can't leave that as his penultimate ball. Needs that off the table. Gone for it now. Gone for the one at the top now, but he's on both. I'll take the one at the top now, wouldn't you? Just drift down. You take this one?
Yep, all day long. I don't think I wouldn't run the risk of not being able to get on it later.
He has missed it.
Well, Eddie can't play run the clock down because there's too much time there, so he's got to try and win this frame.
Pull this back and back yourself to make the combination.
I think you've got to go, yeah. Well, yeah.
It's do or die shot.
He's plumb on it. This is perfect.
Yeah, and if you were offered this to win a match, you'd take it. And that's what it will feel like.
Well, he's already potted one of these in this match earlier, and it was a trickier one than that, and he's done it again, so he's not missed any of those. I think he's going to have to play and double the one that's further up the table first. Try and get the keyboard to come around the angles past the black and play a long yellow into the bottom right. I think that's his out. He's going to make a liar of me and screw back and play the one down the rail now, is he? Yep. And then play the double. Probably a better option, actually.
Double then.
Yep, Barker has this pretty much for the match. You can't see the keyboard not finishing on the black if he does get it.
Oh, and the nudge helps.
Oh.
Simplest 8-ball then for the match. Some nervous moments towards the back end for Eddie Barker, but he is going to get the job done. Andrew Patchett not really at the races, especially early on. Too little, too late, and he bows out. But Batman moves on.